Joe Biden, who is the presumptive Democratic nominee, gave a speech to respond to Donald Trump's divisiveness. This was following Trump's Rose Garden speech, where he threatened to use the military against protesters. He threatened to use the military within the United States, which is unprecedented. He also seemed to rile people up by randomly out of nowhere mentioning Second Amendment rights, which is, something to be concerned about when there is civil unrest in the country. Now, Joe Biden's speech, I think overall was different from what Donald Trump said. That's for sure. And I think that it was pretty good. But I want you guys to watch it, judge for yourselves, and then I'll outline what Biden is proposing to, change or reform how we do policing in this country. Take a look.
Breathe. I can't breathe. George Floyd's last words, but they didn't die with him. They're still being heard, echoing all across this nation. They speak to a nation where, too often, just the color of your skin puts your life at risk. They speak to a nation where more than 100,000 people have lost their lives to the virus and 40 million have filed for unemployment, with a disproportionate number of those deaths and job losses concentrated in Black and brown communities. And they speak to a nation where every day millions of people, millions, not at the moment of losing their life, but in the course of living their life, are saying to themselves, I can't breathe. It's a wake-up call to our nation, in my view. It's for all of us, and I mean all of us. It's not the first time we've heard those words. They're the same words we heard from Eric Garner when his life was taken away 6 years ago. But it's time to listen to those words, to try to understand them, to respond to them, respond with action. A country is crying out for leadership. Leadership that can unite us, leadership that brings us together, leadership that can recognize pain and deep grief of communities that have had a knee on their neck for a long time.
So in the context of the speech, he urged Congress to pass some of the police reform proposals that we've seen, including banning chokeholds. He wants to stop sending, this is my personal favorite proposal, and this absolutely should be done, stop sending military weaponry and equipment to local police departments. That's really a product of our military industrial complex, just this nonstop weapons manufacturing machine that we have in this country, which ends up sending older military grade weaponry to our local police departments. He also proposed creating a model use of force standard, along with a National Police Oversight Commission and community policing. Now, look, why was I hesitant earlier to say that it was a good speech? Because honestly, I'm super jaded and I know too much. On its own, I think that speech was great. But when you look at his record, of course you're going to have some hesitation and you're going to question, some of what Biden says. But when you compare him to Trump, I mean, clearly, this is the type of messaging that Americans need to hear. But more importantly, if he actually puts action behind those words, that's what America actually needs.
Yeah. I thought it was a good speech, too, both in terms of showing empathy and the contrast with Trump, but also in the policy proposals. Not bad. I would have gone a little further, but he at least talked about getting independent folks to check the police and involving the community more and ending the militarization. These are good steps forward. Of course, what Anna is referring to is a deep record of Joe Biden not doing that and doing the opposite of doing the criminal.
The crime bill.
The crime bill, 1994 crime bill is the best example. But he pushed many different crime bills. And he bragged about how much there was death penalty in there. He did the war on drugs. He pushed Reagan to do the war on drugs and go further right wing. So those things are true. At the same time, he's at least able to show empathy and respond to the situation as it is. If Donald Trump wins the election, you will have no police reform at all, no prayer of it, right? At least with Joe Biden, he's going to make some political moves in that direction. And if you're lucky, you get some progressives in the room. And Joe Biden is very empathetic to whoever's in the room. His problem is he's usually in the room with bankers and donors. But if you can get progressives in that room, there's some chance that he might even do half of that stuff. That's as good as it's going to get with any establishment politician. But it is leagues better, thousands of times better than Donald Trump.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.